Top 5 ways to a strong mind, and also one of your greatest assets that you will ever acquire while trying to become a profitable trader. Let's talk about it. All right, coming in for number 5 is going to be, might be more of the rather obvious one, but it's going to be regular exercise. And you might be surprised to see it on a list like this because most people, when they think about exercise, they think about getting ripped, looking good, and the physical benefits. But what most people fail to realize is the very, very, very powerful mental benefits that regular exercise yield. And I'm not talking about just 1 week of New Year motivation exercise. I'm talking about real, consistent, day by day exercise. And what this actually does is understanding that the brain, out of any other part of our body, requires the most oxygen, and by regularly exercising, this obviously, as a result, increases oxygen flow to our brain. And as a result of that, this increases something called the hippocampus inside of the brain, which is actually essential for memory and learning, which is going to be an amazing benefit for you as someone that's trying to acquire something like the skill set of a trader. And then not to mention just overall how you feel after taking a workout. Like, I don't think anyone's ever came to me and said, "Hey, I don't feel so good after doing a workout." No, they feel great. They feel ready to go. It increases energy overall. And this is going to be my number 5 for top 5 ways to increase brain power. All right, coming in at number 4 for top 5 ways to a powerful brain is going to be sunlight. When we're talking about this topic, we understand there's 3 specific ways for humans to actually get energy, and that is from eating, sleeping, and of course sunlight. This topic, more so something I can go down many, many rabbit holes on, but I'm not going to do so because this video can go on for hours if I do that. But the fact of the matter is, there's a lot of false information that we're fed, unfortunately, about the sun, and that you should avoid it as much as possible. You shouldn't look at directly into the sun, and none of this stuff is true. Okay, now obviously, I'm not going to go out there and advise you to go out there midday, right at noon or 2 p.m. and just stare into the sun. No, when I'm talking about sun gazing, I'm talking about early morning rays as well as evening rays. These rays are very, very powerful and beneficial specifically to your brain, and I'm going to tell you why. Number one, this is a very good regulator in serotonin. And if you're not familiar with serotonin, then I suggest you do your own research. But understanding that regulation of serotonin could be very, very beneficial as a businessman, entrepreneur, trader, and whatever else. Now, other things that sunlight can do for you is sharpen your pineal gland. And the most obvious one that most people know is as a result of vitamin D1, right, directly from the sun, or for at least 10 minutes, I would say, is going to be increasing your mood and overall just enhancing your quality of how you feel and just your energy levels. All right. Coming in at number 3 for top 5 ways to a powerful brain, it's going to be mindfulness, meditation, whatever you want to call it. Really doesn't matter. But the fact of the matter is, most of the stuff that we feed our brain mentally on a day by day basis is not meant for our brains to process and focus on any given day. So like think about it. You scroll through Twitter, you scroll through Instagram, you're constantly just being overstimulated with all this flashy stuff coming at you, and you're scrolling, doom scrolling, and you're just overstimulating your brain, as a result frying your dopamine receptors, right? So by simply moving away from that lifestyle that unfortunately 90% of people are in nowadays is, I mean, number one, you're going to regulate your dopamine, and number two, you're just feel a lot more sharp, and it's going to be a lot more easy for you to focus on any given task you're trying to complete. The worst possible thing that you can do as soon as you wake up and roll out of your bed is get right onto your phone and feed your mind the stuff that is on your phone. That's the worst possible thing you can do. Set it aside out of reach, okay, ideally. So you can't just roll out and grab your phone, right? Set it out of reach somewhere before you go to sleep. Wake up and start your morning with mindfulness. Breathe in, breathe out. Do whatever breathing technique you can possibly do, and just look there. Just stare at the wall. Just stand there and do nothing and just think. Think, plan your day, and prepare. And just be in the moment. Be mindful. And a lot of people call it meditation. Okay, that's the mainstream. It doesn't really matter what you call it. Like I said, be mindful, breathe, think, and do not overstimulate your brain, and as a result, fry your dopamine receptor. So overall, it's very important for you to understand that frequency is real, and depending on what you feed your brain, just like what you feed your body food-wise, is so crucial to your overall power of within yourself, right? And if you're feeding yourself negative music, right, very low frequency stuff like talking about shooting, killing people, and you're watching people getting killed on Twitter or something like that, or you're watching just low frequency stuff, that is the frequency that you're going to vibe on. But if you change that, listen to higher frequency music, listen to and watch high frequency individuals, rather than keeping up with the hottest celeb and watching that type of stuff, watching TikTok, all that stuff that is very simply going to keep you at a very low frequency. But if you move away from all that mainstream stuff, right, and understand what it means to hone in on a high frequency, then take a deep dive on that down that rabbit hole, and you will not be disappointed. All right, coming in for number 2 for 5 ways to a powerful brain is going to be quality of sleep. So not so much how long you're sleeping, how many hours you're sleeping, like they tell you is like the utmost importance, right? But really, the most important part is actually how high quality is your sleep. How many REM cycles are you going through? That's what really matters. And how exactly do we increase the quality of our sleep? Well, the best thing I could possibly tell you right now to keep this video as short as possible is going to be do not eat 3 to 4 hours prior to falling asleep, while in the meantime, also during the day, keeping the carbs and sugar as low as possible. And as a result, your blood sugars will be stable throughout the day, which will lead into very high quality sleep. So, with that, why does this matter in terms of our brain? Well, high quality sleep gives us energy, but most importantly, all the information that we learn throughout the day, that's actually only being retained while we sleep. So the best learners are the ones that have the highest quality of sleep, whether you realize it or not. Coming in for number 1 of top 5 ways to a powerful brain is going to be fasting. This right here is absolutely undisputed number 1, the absolute best tip I can possibly give you if you're looking to increase your brain power. Fasting, fasting, fasting. Nothing has made me feel more better in my life and it's given me more immense benefits than fasting. Not only myself have I tested it for myself, but there's also countless people out there with success stories, tremendous success stories, and you can go out and research it for yourself if you're curious about that. Now, in terms of the benefits of fasting in and of itself for brain power, I mean, I can seriously just go down the line here. I mean, it's ridiculous how many benefits it actually offers. It increases focus, it increases memory, cognitive function, it increases something called autophagy, which just so happens to build up your brain cells. It makes you sharper. Brain fog, that's out of the question. That's gone. You're never going to have that again because you're not going to have insulin resistance. All this stuff coming together is what really makes a powerful brain, and fasting embodies that. And the bad thing about this topic here is we can go down many, many rabbit holes and understanding that we're taught all the wrong information. All this fake food out here, processed food, processed sugar. It's really ridiculous that these things are even legal to be on the shelf because of how poisonous and how bad they truly are for our brain and our physical health, right? So by honing in on the power of fasting, you're going to unlock a plethora of amazing benefits that are going to set you up for the utmost success. I highly recommend it. Now, if we're talking about intermittent fasting, okay, I would recommend 18 hours and have that 6 hour eating window. So fast for 18 hours, and somewhere in between the day you find that 6 hour window to actually eat. So that to me is the fasting window that I utilize, and I recommend that as well. It's going to be the most effective. And on the other hand, you're going to want to do a few, at least once a month, you're going to want to do a prolonged fast. So I recommend about anywhere from 24 to 48 hours of a fast, and that unlocks a whole nother level of benefits, and we're not going to get into that here because it's just going to make the video ridiculously long. But nonetheless, coming out on top very easily, number 1 for ways for a powerful brain is going to be fasting.